For generations, the Laura family farm represented dedication, tradition, and the belief that hard work could sustain a family through changing times. The farm grew from a small operation into a modern agricultural business built on experience, technology, and close relationships with the surrounding community. However, in 2024, the family faced a sudden challenge when a serious workplace accident affected one of the farm's key leaders. The incident disrupted daily operations and created uncertainty during a critical period of the growing season. What followed was not only a test of agricultural management, but also a test of family strength, communication, and adaptability. Laura Wilson, who had become recognized as part of a new generation of farmers, found herself carrying greater responsibility for protecting both the family's livelihood and the future of a 5-generation farming legacy, a difficult accident that changed farm operations. In early 2024, a serious equipment accident occurred at the Laura family farm's repair facility while maintenance work was being carried out on harvesting machinery. Cale Carlson, a central figure in the farm's technical operations, suffered significant injuries and required an extended period of medical treatment and rehabilitation. The accident immediately affected the structure of the farm because Cale had played an important role in equipment management, production planning, and daily decision-making. The timing made the situation even more challenging as the farm was preparing for the planting season, one of the busiest and most important periods of the agricultural calendar. With thousands of acres requiring careful preparation, the family had to quickly reorganize responsibilities. Laura Wilson and her husband Grant Wilson stepped forward to coordinate operations while also supporting Cale's recovery and maintaining the stability of the farm. Taking responsibility during a period of uncertainty. The months following the accident required the Laura family to adjust almost every part of their operation. Agricultural work depends on timing, organization, and reliable systems, and the loss of a key team member created immediate pressure. Laura took on a larger leadership role, managing communication, production schedules, and relationships with suppliers and partners. Grant focused more heavily on technical operations, machinery oversight, and field management. Other family members also contributed by returning to assist with seasonal responsibilities and property management. The experience revealed how dependent many family farms are on the knowledge and skills of a few individuals. It also encouraged the family to rethink how responsibilities were shared. Rather than relying on one person for critical tasks, the farm began developing stronger systems designed to support long-term stability, building a safer and more organized future. Following the accident, the Laura family farm began reviewing its approach to workplace safety, equipment maintenance, and operational planning. The family recognized that modern farming requires not only advanced machinery, but also strong safety practices and consistent training. New procedures were introduced to improve equipment inspections, emergency preparation, and communication between workers. Outside specialists and professional service providers became more involved in areas where additional expertise was needed. This transition represented a broader change in the farm's management philosophy. Instead of depending primarily on family members to handle every responsibility, the farm began creating a more balanced structure that combined family experience with professional support. Laura emphasized that the accident became an opportunity to strengthen the farm's foundation and create practices that could protect future generations of agricultural workers. The legacy behind a 5-generation farm. The history of the Laura family farm stretches back more than a century, beginning with earlier generations who established their lives through agriculture in Nebraska. Over time, the farm expanded from a small family operation into a larger agricultural enterprise involving crop production, livestock, and modern farming technology. Each generation contributed new ideas while preserving the values that shaped the business from the beginning. Laura Wilson grew up surrounded by this agricultural environment and learned the responsibilities of farming from an early age. Her experience reflected a traditional approach where younger family members learned through direct involvement and practical work. As she became more involved in management, she also brought new perspectives focused on technology, communication, and connecting agriculture with a wider audience. Her journey represented the changing role of farmers in a modern economy, a new generation connecting agriculture and technology. Before the accident, Laura Wilson had become known as a farmer who combined traditional agricultural knowledge with modern communication methods. She used digital platforms to share information about farming practices, equipment, crop management, and everyday agricultural challenges. Her approach helped introduce farming to people who had little direct connection to rural life. By showing the realities of agricultural work, she created a bridge between producers and consumers. Her efforts also reflected a larger movement within agriculture, where farmers increasingly use technology to educate communities, build relationships, and create new opportunities. Laura's work demonstrated that farming today involves more than planting and harvesting. Farmers must also understand business management, public communication, sustainability, and changing consumer expectations. This combination of practical experience and modern communication helped establish her as a representative of a younger generation of agricultural leaders. Community support during a challenging season. The accident affected more than the immediate family because the farm had become an important part of the surrounding community. Local farmers, agricultural organizations, friends, and neighbors offered support as the family worked through a difficult period. Some helped with equipment access, labor needs, and practical advice, allowing the farm to continue operating during a demanding season. Community relationships became an important source of strength, showing the value of cooperation within rural areas. The experience also highlighted a common reality among family farms. Success often depends on networks of people who support one another during difficult times. For the Laura family, assistance from others provided both practical help and emotional encouragement. These connections reinforced the idea that agriculture is not only about individual businesses, but also about communities built around shared challenges and responsibilities. Lessons learned from a season of change. The events of 2024 encouraged the Laura family farm to examine how it could become stronger and more prepared for future challenges. The family learned that successful operations require clear communication, shared responsibilities, and planning beyond immediate needs. They began focusing on separating technical duties, management responsibilities, and safety oversight so that the farm could continue functioning even when unexpected problems occurred. Laura also used the experience to promote greater awareness of agricultural safety and the importance of preparation. Farming remains one of the industries most dependent on machinery and careful timing, making safety education essential. The changes introduced after the accident were not only designed to protect the current operation, but also to preserve the farm's future. The family viewed improvement as part of continuing the legacy created by previous generations. A stronger vision for the future of farming. By 2025, the Laura family farm entered a period of rebuilding and modernization. The family continued improving operational systems while adapting to new responsibilities and changing circumstances. Grant Wilson focused on technical leadership, machinery management, and production efficiency, while Laura continued coordinating the broader direction of the farm and strengthening communication efforts. The farm also explored new approaches connected to precision agriculture, improved training, and more structured management practices. These changes reflected a wider transformation happening throughout modern farming, where family operations must combine tradition with innovation. The goal was not to replace the values that built the farm, but to create a stronger foundation for future generations. The experience demonstrated that resilience in agriculture comes from the ability to learn, adjust, and continue moving forward despite unexpected challenges. A story of resilience, family, and renewal. The story of the Laura family farm is ultimately about adaptation and perseverance. A difficult accident created a moment of uncertainty, but it also revealed the strength of a family committed to protecting its history and future. Through cooperation, improved systems, and community support, the farm continued its journey while embracing necessary changes. Laura Wilson's experience showed the evolving role of farmers in today's world. They are producers, managers, educators, and leaders within their communities. The challenges faced by the family reflected the realities of modern agriculture, where success requires both respect for tradition and willingness to innovate. The farm's future will continue to depend on the same principles that guided previous generations: responsibility, hard work, and commitment to the land. In facing hardship, the family created a renewed vision for a safer and more sustainable agricultural future.